Welcome back to Dr. Ray's Learning Minute. I am Dr. Ray, and today we will turn our attention to one of the most critical moments of World War II, the Battle of Britain. Interesting fact, the start of World War II was different depending on where you lived. For most of Europe, World War II started in 1939. However, China and Japan started fighting in 1937, while the US and the USSR did not enter the war until 1941. For one Japanese soldier, Hiro Onoda, the war did not end until 1974 as he hid in a Philippine jungle, not knowing the war had ended 30 years earlier. After the fall of France in 1940, Hitler stood on the edge of victory in Western Europe. Britain was alone, and the Nazi war machine was ready to strike. But what followed was not just a battle for land, it was a battle for survival, and it would change the course of history.
Über dem Schloss von Versailles, in dem 1871 deutsches Schicksal gestaltet und 1918 deutsche Schmach besiegelt wurde, weht nun die Hakenkreuzflagge.
Let's rewind to May 1940. France, Belgium, and the Netherlands had fallen to the Germans in a matter of weeks. The British Army had just evacuated Dunkirk, battered but alive. Hitler believed Britain would surrender or negotiate peace, but Winston Churchill, Britain's new prime minister, was determined to fight. To invade Britain, Germany needed control of the skies. Their plan was simple: destroy the Royal Air Force, the RAF, and clear the way for an invasion, codenamed Operation Sea Lion. The Battle of Britain officially began in July 1940. The German Luftwaffe, the most powerful air force at that time, launched massive air raids. Their targets: British radar stations, airfields, and aircraft factories. At first, the Luftwaffe focused on military targets. But after the British bombed Berlin in retaliation, Hitler shifted tactics. The Germans began bombing cities, London most famously, in what became known as the Blitz. For 57 consecutive nights, London was bombed. Cities like Coventry and Liverpool also suffered devastating attacks. The British RAF, though smaller, was well prepared. Thanks to radar, a new technology at that time, they could detect incoming German planes early. British pilots, often young and barely out of training, fought fiercely. Churchill famously called them the few, saying never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Spitfires and Hurricanes, Britain's main fighter planes, engaged German bombers and fighter escorts in dogfights over British skies. Despite being outnumbered, the RAF's resilience and strategic advantages wore the Luftwaffe down.
Two Royal Air Force pilots being sure one Nazi marauder will never make it home again. A direct hit, and there are no victorious Heil Hitlers in the choppy waters of the English Channel.
By 1940, Hitler called off Operation Sea Lion. The Luftwaffe had failed to destroy the RAF, and Germany could not secure air superiority. It was the first major defeat for Nazi Germany and proved that Hitler could be resisted. The Battle of Britain wasn't just a military victory, it was a psychological one. It kept Britain in the war and gave hope to the rest of the world that the Nazis could be defeated. The Battle of Britain was more than an air battle. It was a test of endurance, technology, leadership, and national spirit. Without Britain holding the line in 1940, the world might have faced a very different future. It's a reminder that even when the odds seem impossible, courage, preparation, and determination can change history. Thanks for joining me today on Dr. Ray's Learning Minute. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a review and a comment. Next time, we'll dive into another major turning point in World War II, the Battle of Stalingrad, where the tide truly began to turn on the Eastern Front. Until then, stay curious. To the